With that introduction, I would like to introduce Sean Hall. This morning, Sean will be kicking off our February Tech Fair. Sean has worked at Associated for 5.5 years and is currently the supervisor of the E&O development team. He is a frequent Tech Fair speaker, and you may recall his last talk from the last series last year, Leader, where he challenged us with an alternative to top-down leadership. He has also been very busy practicing his leadership skills. Since his last presentation, just last year, he has become the leader of the IS operations team. He's presented at MSU on being a millennial in the workplace. He's invested in local project management meetups, and he is one of 3 finalists for Biz 417's Excellence in Technology Rising Star Award. The winner will actually be announced March 2nd. We've got our fingers crossed for you. In addition, he's become quite the blogger on Techie Takeover, with articles having an impact with employees in our organization and in the community. And he has a new blog launching soon entitled millennialleader.com. When I asked Sean what makes him unique, he talked about his comic book collection. He talked about his vast, immense video game collection. I think something like 18 different consoles. However, when digging a little deeper, I discovered that what truly brings pride to Sean's eyes is over the course of his childhood, he was the recipient of many prestigious and distinguished participation trophies. Unfortunately, he hasn't kept them all. Today, Sean will challenge us with a presentation influenced by those amazing trophies that he earned, titled Kids These Days. Please join me in welcoming Sean Hall.
Thanks, Charlie, for the awesome introduction. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me, kicking us off. I'm going to talk about kids these days, but before I get into that, a little bit about myself. I like to read. These are all the books that I read last year. Most of them business books. If I was to recommend anything in there, Steven Johnson is a fantastic author. Everything Bad is Good for You. Really good book. It's something that influenced a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today. Other things about me. I travel. It's me at Chichen Itza. I play video games. I am into superheroes. And maybe picture. I was born in 1986, which makes me a millennial. And I know, I'm on social media as well. I read the news. I've got something to confess. I'm lazy. I have lived with my parents way too long. I can't stay interested in a job for more than a year. And don't get me started about how entitled I am. Kids these days, right? Well, you actually can't go far without finding something like that. You can't get too far on the internet without getting some sort of reminder about how kids were better off in the good old days, right? It seems like everywhere you turn, there's some sort of disappointment in today's newest members of the professional world. And it's getting really highly publicized. I've got a few snippets that I want to share. This one coming from the Authority of Parents. It's about entitlement. There's a great tendency among children today to rebel against restraint. Not only that placed upon them by the will of the parent, but against any restraint or limitation of what they consider their rights, entitlement. This fact has filled well-minded people with great apprehension for the future. Another one from the Sunday Magazine, the art about texting and Snapchat. The art of letter writing is fast dying out. We fire off a multitude of rapid and short notes instead of sitting down over a good talk over a real sheet of paper. Something weird about the way that these actually read, and that's because these weren't written about us at all. This was said about much earlier generations. In fact, you can find this all throughout history. I got this from XKCD, where they compiled dozens of examples of things that was said about youth earlier that you could easily say about youth today. Generations have been doing this for a long time. The radio, fiction novels, television, rock music, video games. What is it today? Cell phones, social media, right? That's what's poisoning today's youth, right? So my point is, this really isn't anything new. There's even a word for this type of behavior. It's called juvenoia. Now, if you're interested, it's really a fascinating topic. Michael Stevens has a channel on YouTube called Vsauce. He does an excellent video on it. It was a great source of inspiration for this particular topic. You should really check it out. So, are we broken? No, We're just different. The world we grew up in is simply different than the world you grew up in. For example, several new hires might remember the Budweiser frog. They might remember the "What's up, guys?" But 5 years from now, probably not. Think about this for a second. 10 years from now, whenever the youngest millennials are starting to enter the workplace, they will have learned about the 9/11 tragedy through a history book. The world we grew up in is just different. Not bad, just different. So, what I'd like to talk to you guys about today is about what millennials really are about, the way they think, because ready or not, we're coming, right? More and more every single day. So, let's get a better understanding of one another. These are some of the books that I'm pulling a lot of this research from, so you're not just hearing one millennial's perspective. This is something I've actively read about. A lot of the stats that I'm going to talk about, this book in particular, it's The Millennials by Tom and Jesse Rayner, and they surveyed several thousand millennials, but they did 1,200 face-to-face interviews. This is a lot of people to talk about. So the first reality of a millennial is, yes, we lived with our parents longer than most generations. And yes, we used our parents a lot for resumes and interviews. But what's missing there is the context. This generation is on pace to shatter the amount of college graduates. A lot of millennials chose to live with their parents longer as a financial decision through their college years. As for the professionals, survey showed that 87% of millennials looked at their parents as a positive influence on their profession. Parents have done this before, so why not use that? Where some might see a lack of independence, others see the use of resources. Again, not bad, just different. Same can be said about older generations. When asked, I tend to have great respect for older generations, the results were 94% agreed, with over 50% saying they strongly agree. So, in fact, more and more young people are actively seeking out mentors. One could say that some of us look up to those who sometimes look down on us. Fun is also a value in the workplace. 87% said it was. Ball pit. We don't all want ball pits. We don't all need to bring our dogs to work. We just don't see why fun and serious work have to be mutually exclusive. And we have Nerf guns. Realistically, we just use them a couple of times a year. Tech Fair is a great example where we found where serious work can be intertwined with fun. These elements are motivating to us. We want to do serious work, serious and important work too. It's just fun has a sense of motivation. So my goal today was really to shed light on just a few labels that kids these days have been given. And hopefully give everyone a little bit better understanding of what we're capable of, what our values are. So I'm going to ask you one thing. If we make a mistake, just understand we're young in our careers. Don't automatically blame the participation trophy I got when I was 8 years old. Partner with me as a colleague. We're ready to learn from you guys. And with our diverse background and possibly unique perspective, it might be our mutually beneficial relationship, which is pretty cool. But just remember, we're not bad, we're just different. Any questions?
Matt in the back.
Yeah, Sean, this is a little bit off topic, I guess, but I'm just curious if you observed this behavior or if it's talked about in your books about, I guess what I would label it as self-hating millennials. I see millennials, like older guys, like even our age, or a little bit younger, hating on the, 14, 15 to 20-year-olds that are coming up. I was just wondering if you ran across that either personally or in
The millennials, like it's not somewhat arbitrary. There's actually, Generations talks about, we're really put into those groups based on the generations of society, but it's not an exact science, right? Everything is a percentage. So there are several people who don't identify themselves with the millennial generation because, they too are just different from them. You can't really say everybody is all this way. It's just sometimes we tend to take the baggage of a minority. So.
Okay, another question. In the back here. Yep, Charlie.
At a recent effort conference, they talked about how millennials are now the majority of the workforce. They became 34% of the workforce in 2015. Growing up, electronic cell phones, I mean, that's what millennials know. How much of a, I'll call it a demotivation, is that when that isn't present in the workforce, electronic devices and so on? I'm thinking specifically for folks working on the floor at our power plants, you know, guys turning wrenches and so on. If they don't have access to that technology, how much of a demotivational factor is that?
Let me just repeat the question.
Sure.
The question is, how much is the absence of technology in our workplace, based on the experiences of millennials growing up, a demotivation for them?
And honestly, with that one, I don't know if I can answer that. In my research, I haven't gotten a sense. I understand that. The reason why is I'm in IT. I'm surrounded 100% by technology at all times. So I don't actually get a ton of interaction with folks that get zero interaction with technology. So I actually don't know if I can truly give you an honest answer.
Next question, Sean.
Yes, as a millennial working for Associated, what are the 2 to 3 things that you feel the organization has done to embrace you? And what are the 2 to 3 things you would recommend to the organization to do a better job of embracing you?
Okay, the question is, as an employer associated, what are the 2 to 3 things that the organization has done to embrace you? And what are the 2 to 3 things that the organization can do a better job of embracing the millennials?
Sure. So the things that you guys have done really well, and I do think that here at Associated, we have a healthy mix of fun and serious work. I mean, I'd argue with anybody that we don't do serious work around here. And like I said, Tech Fair has been great. I love the stuff that we're doing in IS, the place that we're able to build down there in the basement, our working environment. That's been fantastic. So I'd say those would be 3 things. If I was to add a 4th one, I really appreciate all the community stuff that this group does. Like whenever, and I'm talking about the community, the AECI community, specifically like the drive-in movie stuff. I really appreciate that. Oh, shoot, I'm getting close in time. In terms of things that we can improve on, I personally would like to see. Gosh, that is such a tough question. I'm actually very happy here. That's why I've stood here. So I'd actually would like to get back with you on that one because I'd need to think through it just a little bit.
I will follow up.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean, very much.